Hello, everybody. My name is Dale Walkowski, and I wanted to share with you for this week's book presentation the story called I Am Malala. Malala wrote this book with the help of Patricia McCormick, and it is a New York Times bestseller. And it's a wonderful book. It's been converted into a book for children, and I would recommend that children, maybe fifth and sixth grade, would be able to really enjoy this book. I know some children younger would really enjoy it too, but overall, I would recommend it for fifth and sixth graders and older. Any age could benefit from this. This book is about courage. This book is about family, and this book is about convictions and standing up for what you believe in spite of the danger that you face. Malala, as probably the whole world knows, that she was shot by the Taliban for speaking out for girls to have an education. The Taliban was a huge presence in her Swat Valley, and many people gave them a lot of money and believed in what they were preaching and teaching. They had a radio broadcast every day, all day, teaching crazy things. But Malala and her father were not afraid. Their family felt like something might happen to their father, but the Taliban had never attacked children ever, and so they felt like Malala was safe. Although she did worry that sometime walking through the street that a Taliban would throw acid at her face, because that happened to young girls often in public. But her family was a huge support of her and encouraged her in her writing speeches and giving them publicly, speaking on television, and speaking out for education for girls. In Pakistan, I think there's something like 8 million girls that do not go to school. And Malala, school was her life. She loved learning and studying, and she got straight A's, and she entered many speech contests because she's very competitive with her friends, for one thing, but she loved to give speeches. And I think that she's such a great example for girls and for them to be able to find a voice, because she found her voice and she did not hesitate to use it, and she still is. Even though she can't live in Pakistan anymore, she lives in Birmingham. Well, she was living in Birmingham, and now she goes to Oxford University. But her family had to move away from the Swat Valley in Pakistan for their own safety. And they've given up a lot, but they're still advocates for education for girls and better education for everyone. A typical school in Pakistan would be pretty empty, dirt floors, but Malala's father started a school without any money, and he didn't even know how he was going to pay his teachers, but he started it anyway, and that's where Malala was able to go to school. And at times they would have to stop wearing their uniforms because they didn't want to draw attention to themselves going to school. And so they would just walk the street on the way to school without any uniforms, just so they wouldn't draw attention to themselves. Malala was shot in the head, like right up in the head here, and it went down into her neck, and down here, and did a lot of damage, and they didn't think she was going to live, but she did survive. They transported her to Birmingham in England. It was the closest and best facility for her to be able to get the care that would require for her to survive. And they took good care of her, but her parents couldn't go because they didn't have visas and passports that were current. And so it took a long time for her family to be able to come and be with her. But she didn't know what had happened to her for quite a while, and she does not remember anything. I thought this would be a great book in a classroom, because I feel like the teachers could organize a speech contest, and children, knowing the story of Malala, could speak about their own convictions. What's something that they they have a passion for. Or even education. What does education mean to me? Because there are so many children that don't get an education, what does it mean to me? And I feel like these things would help these kids to realize and appreciate the education that they do have, and they don't even have to pay for it. And I wanted to show you a picture of Malala's family. When she was born, her father, she and her father have a very close relationship. But when she was born, and it is traditional in Pakistan for the fathers to go out in the street and shoot their guns in the air to celebrate a son. But when Malala was born, and she was a girl, he went out into the streets and he shot his gun in the air, and he was so excited and so proud to have a beautiful little daughter. And I just feel like he is not the typical Pakistani father, and I just love this picture. And Malala says today that she is the same. She still fights with her brothers. They still call each other names, and they are rude to her, and she's rude back to them, just like a little girl. But yet she, just like little kids, always kind of fight with each other. But she is just an incredible advocate for education for everyone, anyone that is not able to get an education. She is a great advocate for them. So I recommend this book for anyone, but especially for children, because I feel like it's a great way for children to gain a better appreciation, especially children in our country, to gain a better appreciation for education. So thank you. Go get the book and read it. It's awesome.